Imagine this. You finally stand up to someone who's been walking all over you. You think it's over. Then your phone starts ringing. Again, and again, and again. Debt collectors, banks, loan sharks. All because your ex-roommate decided to weaponize their own financial ruin against you. At first, you ignore it. Maybe it's a mistake. But the calls don't stop. The letters pile up. Your name is on loans you never signed, debts you never owed. And the worst part? They did it on purpose. They thought you'd just take it, that you'd crumble under the weight of their mess. But this isn't just a story about petty revenge. This is about what happens when someone thinks they can break you and you hand them the shovel to bury themselves instead. Because when they drag you into their chaos, they made one fatal mistake. They underestimated you. They didn't realize you'd fight back. And when you did, the tables turned. Fast. This is what happens when greed meets justice, when manipulation meets strategy, and when someone tries to destroy your life, only to watch their own go up in flames. So, how far would you go to make sure they regret ever crossing you? Here's your expanded, natural-sounding script with no annotations, ready for narration. If you've ever been pushed too far, if you've ever wanted to watch karma hit someone square between the eyes, smash that like button, subscribe, and buckle up, because this is justice served gloriously cold. And trust me, by the time this story is over, you'll be cheering for every single second of it. So get comfortable, hit that notification bell, because what's coming, it's going to be so satisfying you'll want to watch it twice. This isn't just another revenge story. This is about the moment someone crosses a line and realizes too late they picked the wrong person to mess with. Let me paint you a picture. 2 years ago, I was desperate for a roommate. Bills were piling up, rent was due, and I couldn't afford to live alone. Enter, let's call him Jesse. Seemed normal enough at first. Friendly, laid back, the kind of person who made you feel like maybe, just maybe, living with a stranger wouldn't be a total disaster. But within weeks, the red flags started piling up. And not just little things, no. We're talking full-on warning sirens blare in your face while this person smiles like nothing's wrong. Dishes left to mold in the sink, not just a plate or two. We're talking towers crusted over takeout containers. Forks fossilized in week-old spaghetti sauce. Rent forgotten 3 months in a row. And excuses? Oh, they were creative. My paycheck got lost in the mail. My grandma's dog ate my wallet. My bank account got hacked by a ghost. Okay, maybe not that last one, but you get the idea. And then there were the borrowed things. My food, my shampoo, my favorite hoodie that mysteriously vanished, only to reappear in their laundry, stretched out and reeking of cheap cologne. But I let it slide, because that's what you do, right? You give people the benefit of the doubt. You tell yourself, maybe they're just going through a rough patch. But the final straw? The day I found out they'd been using MY Netflix, MY Amazon account. Even ordered takeout under MY name. And not just once. No, we're talking a full-blown identity theft spree. Suddenly, I'm getting receipts for meals I never ate, subscriptions I never signed up for, and a $200 charge for something called Premium Unicorn Yoga, which, shocker, wasn't even a real thing. So I confronted them, calmly, politely, and when I did, they had the audacity to act offended, like I was the problem for expecting basic responsibility, like I was somehow the villain for not wanting to fund their secret second life as a takeout king. That was the moment I realized something crucial. Jesse didn't just take advantage of me. They thought I was weak. They thought I'd just roll over and take it. And that was their first and last mistake. So I did what any sane person would do. I gave them 30 days to pack up and get out. You should have seen their face when I handed them the notice, like I just slapped them with a fish. The shock, the outrage, the complete disbelief that there might actually be consequences for their actions. And oh, the tantrum that followed. Slamming doors hard enough to shake the walls. Muttered threats under their breath every time we passed in the hallway. The passive-aggressive sticky notes appearing everywhere. But I held my ground, because after months of being treated like a doormat, I'd finally reached my breaking point. The moving out process was its own special kind of nightmare. Suddenly, Items of mine started disappearing. My favorite coffee mug, the TV remote, even the shower curtain. They left behind a mountain of trash, and what I'm pretty sure was a science experiment growing in the back of the fridge. But none of that compared to what came next. 2 weeks after they left, my phone started blowing up. At first, it was just 1 or 2 calls a day, unknown numbers, robotic voices asking for Jesse. Then it became a constant barrage. Morning, noon, and night, unknown numbers, robotic voices demanding payment, collections agencies leaving increasingly threatening voicemails. And then it hit me, they'd given creditors' MY number as their contact. This wasn't just carelessness. This was their petty gotcha for daring to hold them accountable. That's when I realized they weren't just irresponsible. They weren't just selfish. They were vindictive. They wanted me to suffer for having the nerve to stand up for myself. And I was done playing nice. Done being the understanding roommate. Done letting them walk all over me. If they wanted to play dirty, well, I could play that game too. And I had a feeling I'd be much better at it. Now, most people would panic in this situation. Most people would change their number immediately. Maybe even cave and try to help track the deadbeat down just to make the calls stop. But me, I saw an opportunity. Because here's the thing about debt collectors. They're like bloodhounds. Once they catch a scent, they never let go. And right now, they thought I was their only connection to Jesse. That gave me power. That gave me leverage. And most importantly, that gave me options. I started keeping a notebook by the phone. Every call, I documented the time, the company name, the amount owed. The collection agency started painting a fascinating picture. Credit card debt, medical bills, payday loans. Apparently, Jesse had been burning bridges all over town long before they ever moved in with me. And every time they called, I made sure to give them exactly what they needed, just not in the way Jesse expected. I became the most helpful, cooperative person those collectors had ever spoken to. Oh yes, I'd be happy to help you get in touch with Jesse. I'd say, let me give you their most current information. A lesser person might have made up fake addresses or sent them on wild goose chases. But not me. I gave them the truth. Jesse's real phone number, their real workplace, their parents' real address, the gym they went to every Tuesday and Thursday. Why lie when the truth was so much more effective? After all, these collectors were professionals. They deserved accurate information to do their jobs properly. And if that meant Jesse could no longer hide from the consequences of their actions, well, that was just an added bonus. Every single call, the same perfect script. The moment I heard that automated voice asking for Jesse, I'd settle in like I was reading from a teleprompter. I have zero intention of paying this debt. This isn't my responsibility. You'll have to sue to get that money. Click. No arguing. No explanations. No raised voices. Just cold, brutal honesty delivered with the efficiency of a courtroom judge. I became a machine the moment I detected that collection agency tone. My responses were automatic. And the best part? Every time I hung up, those collectors doubled down like bloodhounds catching a fresh scent. They started digging deeper into Jesse's financial mess, uncovering layers of debt I never knew existed. Student loans they defaulted on years ago. Unpaid parking tickets from 3 states over. A gym membership they'd apparently signed up for using someone else's social security number. The more I refused to engage, the harder they pursued, just not after me anymore. Last I heard, their credit score looks like a golf handicap. Their wages are being garnished by not 1, but 3 different creditors. They had to switch phone numbers 4 times in 6 months. And me? I'm just sitting here with my popcorn, blocking numbers with a smile whenever the occasional stray call slips through. The calls have slowed to a trickle now. Turns out, when you're not actually responsible for debt, and you make that crystal clear, even the most aggressive collectors eventually get the message. Sure showed me, huh, Jesse? Taught me a real valuable lesson about what happens when you try to screw over someone who actually keeps receipts. Literally. Some people think revenge needs to be this elaborate production. They imagine dramatic confrontations or public humiliations. But sometimes, the most satisfying payback is just sitting back in your favorite chair and watching as someone's own terrible choices come home to roost. No theatrics needed when their life is already performing the perfect tragic comedy all on its own. I didn't have to file lawsuits or spread rumors. Didn't need to slash tires or key cars. All I had to do was stop protecting Jesse from consequences. Stop making excuses for them. Stop being their human shield against the real world. And honestly, watching karma do all the heavy lifting for me, that's the kind of satisfaction money can't buy. It's the universe's way of sending a receipt for bad behavior. Postage due. There's a beautiful irony to it all. Jesse tried to weaponize their financial irresponsibility against me, only to discover they've been aiming the gun at their own foot the whole time. The calls, the debts, the legal troubles, none of it was actually my problem. It was always theirs. They just needed the right motivation to face that reality. If this story gave you the same rush as a perfectly timed mic drop, hit that like button so hard it registers on the Richter scale. Subscribe if you love watching karma deliver receipts with perfect timing. And tell me in the comments, what's the pettiest, most poetic revenge you've ever witnessed? The kind where someone's own actions came back to bite them in the most satisfying way possible. As for me, I'll be over here enjoying my peace and quiet, occasionally blocking another unknown number with a nostalgic smile. Stay ruthless, folks, but more importantly, stay smart. Because the best revenge isn't about what you do, it's about what you stop doing for people who don't deserve it. The universe keeps excellent records. Sometimes you just need to get out of the way and let it do the math.